Hey, what's up, everybody? Gene Fetty back at you with another episode of our All Access podcast. This is number 29. Can't believe we're knocking on 30 already. These weeks seem to be just absolutely ticking by. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let's try that again. Welcome back. I thought that I was tired last week when we did the little behind the scenes from getting set up. Now I'm officially exhausted. This was an incredible week of training, but man, it's an ass kicker, that's for sure. So I'm going to go through sort of how the class went, some of the highlights, some of the stuff that really surprised us, and before we finish that, we're going to talk about this big mamba jamba, the JVF monster ginormous glue gun that I have to say Jonathan was right about. That thing is insane. So before we dive in, man, I just don't understand people. I think last week talked about we're losing Dylan, and we are. This is her last official week. We're hoping to shoot a podcast, number 30, one final show with Dylan, with an outro. I told her I was going to make her cry on this show, but I don't want to do that. I like her too much. Anyways, new Dylan was supposed to start tomorrow. This is Sunday, whatever this is, the 30th. And new Dylan, who shall remain nameless on this episode, was supposed to start tomorrow. So I sent him a text on Friday because when we left it, like, offer was accepted, everything was good. See you on the 31st. Said, hey, we're really excited for you to start on Monday. And then I get a reply back. Me and John were actually sitting at the cigar bar. He wasn't having a cigar, but I was just relaxing, unwinding from the long week of training. And new Dylan texts back like, hey, did you mean that? Send that to me? Like, yeah. Are you not planning on starting Monday? Nothing. Ghost town. Wait a little bit longer. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. That's a weird response. I'm going to give him a call. Call rings a few times. I'm certain I got the send to voicemail button. Boom. Hey, new Dylan. What's up, man? Like, your reply back's a little cryptic. What's going on? Give me a call or shoot me a text. Ghost town. Nothing. So, right? Start figuring the inevitable, I suppose. And Saturday morning, Saturday, that was Friday evening. Saturday morning, still chewing on me that, like, can't even get a response back from this dude. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to shoot him a text and be like, hey, did I miss? Clearly, I missed something from you. Did I miss a communication? Something? Send it. Guess what? Ghost town. Nothing. I don't know. Half an hour later, he calls, and he's like, "Hey, I sent you a voicemail. I got some stuff going on, and I just can't. I just can't make this move right now, and it's family related. And honestly, if it's family related and there's some huge family issue, take care of family first, for sure." But all I got was like, I left you a voicemail. No, I'm pretty anal about my voicemails, right? I've been running my business for years. I don't generally miss much there. We have a CRM system that logs all inbound calls and all voicemails, right? That nobody deletes. We still have our company cell phone, mainline phone, that also has voicemail, and there are no voicemails anywhere. And listen, like, if the dude is having issues, go take care of your issues. I get it. But have the decency to make sure somebody gets your message if you're leaving a message. Like, I just can't, I just don't understand people today that won't like just step up and take some responsibility, or shoot me a text, or shoot me an email, or message me on Indeed, or call Shannon and leave a message with Shannon, or any of the social channels on any of the businesses. Like, really easy dude to get a hold of. I don't think I'm an intimidating guy, but like, to find out less than 48 hours from when you're supposed to start your new gig, then you're out. I just can't wrap my head around what kind of person would do. Like, it just, man, end of rant. But seriously, what the truck? Like, I'm trying to keep this PG-13, but like, man, it just burns my ass. So now I'm going to be without a new Dylan, and back to the drawing board. I guess the good news is we did have a bunch of applicants, but man, like, I sort of put that to bed and thought we were there. Anyways, maybe we can talk Dylan into staying. Dylan, if you're watching this, just stay. It's good here. We had fun. It's a good place to work. Or maybe you guys can reach out to Dylan or DM the socials. She watches them all week. Tell her not to leave. Tell her to stay. Dylan, we don't want you to go. Anyways, just playing. She's got a new gig. It's going to be a great gig for her. I really am super excited for her to get that. Anyways, that's it. That's enough. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And we'll see who we find moving forward, what media looks like here moving forward. But it's not the first little bump in the road we've had to get over in the last year. And it's certainly probably not going to be the last, but here with my water here is to figuring it out and DBAP, right? We're just going to push through and power through. All right. So how did the class go? So you guys have listened to us talk. We've had a few episodes with John. I've talked about it. We've done videos. That first level up / smash school that we did 2 years ago was incredible. And it was truly life-changing for the students, life-changing for us to see people grow and learn, right? But admittedly, the last time it was a smaller class. We weren't quite sure how to market it. We had not done a training before, is what it is. This class, we're pretty good size class, and the experience level. We experienced this the last time. We experienced it again this time, and it's just so cool to see. So this time we had a couple of students who are not newbies, but like pretty new, sub 2 years or 2 years-ish experience. And neither of them are pushing full-time, right? They've got other jobs, other services related to PDR, and they're not pushing full-time. On up to, we had a veteran guy here with 23 years of experience. That's where I'm at. I'm at 23 years. 23 years of experience. And when we see that, or at least when I see that, I get a little nervous. Like, one, can these new guys keep up? Two, am I going to be able to teach an equal, right? At least experience-wise, or time in the business-wise. Am I going to be able to deliver enough value, or are we going to be able to deliver enough value to the veteran guy that he feels like this class is worth it? So we dove in. We spent some time in the classroom on Monday, sort of going over what the class was going to be like, getting to know everybody. It was also cool that I did not know, other than having met them at MTE. I didn't personally know. Met them at MTE this year. I didn't personally know any of the students. So these are all new to me, new to us people, which is really cool to be able to bring in people you're not familiar with. into a training. So we jumped in, talked about some of their weaknesses, some of their strengths, what they're looking to do through the week. And really the whole class, it sort of surprised me was, well, I guess it didn't surprise me. The number one thing everybody wanted to work on was deep, sharp damage, right? And I guess it's sort of a day-to-day you've got to do, but at the end of the day, it is the most technically difficult damage to do, be it glue pulling or pushing, either way, right? It's difficult damage. In fact, I think you can probably head over to the Auto Appearance page, the socials following on the bottom at Auto Appearance Institute across the board, and you can probably see some of the damage that was put in that these guys got to work on. Part of the beauty of the class is after we got through that, and we went out and we got a little long-winded. I don't know if you know this about me, but I can talk a lot. I think Jean was like elbowing me, "Hey, dude, come on, we got to go." But I wanted to get my information out. Anyways, we went out to the shop, and I talked long enough that I didn't have to do the nasty rail dent demo. Sort of threw Jean under the bus, and he got to do the first glue pull demo on the rail. But walked through being able to use technology. Old school shout out to Keith and Shane from attending some of the advanced skill seminars. Also, that's coming up in October. Check that out. But anyways, seeing how they use the cameras and the TVs and getting that really over the shoulder technician shot, we were able to really dive in and show the nuances that in this case Jean was doing on like exactly where he's knocking down, exactly how he's pulling up, exactly how far he's pulling, tab placement. We were able to show exactly what was going on. Now, when we went out, the good news is everybody, I guess we knew the new guys would be, but everybody was afraid or scared by the dents that we'd put in the rails to teach with. Essentially, right, if you want to picture it, R4 tip, cherry cap, knockdown, and probably like 4 good strikes. These dents were on the Kia, every bit of 4 inches tall, I think is right where we price it. So 4 inches deep, all glue pull with that gnarly little cherry cap pit down in the bottom. Like it was ugly, ugly stuff. A couple of the guys, the one guy, he was like, just stay away from rails. I'm not comfortable with them. And we threw him right to the wolves. Another guy was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. I've never gone after anything this sharp. I would pass on this all day. By the end of the week, everybody was able to repair those dents to a really high level. Like some of the guys were glassing them out. I mean, like glass, full retail, full body shop, perfect. Everybody, even one of the new guys was struggling. Like on day one, and honestly, I thought he was gonna tap out. Thought he was going to be like, man, I'm in over my head. Even in talking to him while we're sort of coaching him along, he's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I may have bit off more than I can chew, and which I felt. I stepped up to the challenge. Like I love figuring out how to help someone figure out what is going on. We worked through with him. His last dent of the week was a pretty sharp, maybe not quite as deep as that R4 shot, but a sharp shot through the body line on a rail. And he got that to, I'm going to call it every bit of 90 to 95%. And this was a dude who admittedly at the beginning of the week was like, I stay away from rails. I don't even do these. Incredible to watch that growth. From there, we moved into pushing some really sharp dents. So even sharper than those rail dents. Took a nice phenolic tip and like just really tapping and rapping to get a deep, like right borderline stretched. If you're an old school PDR college guy, PDR college tech, and you got the depth gauge, we're talking straight steel, regular steel, middle of a flat panel, 1.55 millimeters, 1.6 millimeters, right teetering on that stretched phase or stretched metal. Like if you make bad pushes, you are in trouble. If you make good pushes, you might get lucky and get this thing flat. We did both get to demo this. It's also our favorite dent. Nobody was quite as confident this time in class, but at the original class, this is the dent that we demoed. And really, if you follow perfect procedures and don't miss, right? If you hit the center of the dent and just use good metal theory, good PDR theory, it's a difficult dent to fix, but it's not a hard dent to fix. Like follow the steps and it fixes good. Not easy, but good. Last class, all the students were like, we got this. They watched the demo. We walked through the theory. They're like, how hard can this be? And then for like the next 3 hours, they all proceeded to eat crow and could not, no matter how hard they tried, get those dents up on the first try, right around the first dent. We ended up a few dents in before they were putting out good high quality stuff. This one, nobody was feeling cocky coming into these dents. And maybe they heard that story and we scared them a little bit. But they came in and tackled them. And it was really cool to watch these light bulbs go off for the veteran guys. So we had 23 years, I think about 10 or 12 years, and 8 years would be our veterans in the class. And as we started, or as they started moving the dent and applying what we taught, it was so cool to watch them learn how to fix damage that in their career, either they've struggled with or passed on or whatever. Like, I can't remember which student it was, but to fix that dent, you're essentially creating a volcano, knock the rim of the volcano down, recreate a volcano, rinse and repeat. And the one guy was like, man, I've been trying to avoid volcanoes my whole life. And he's like, these dents kill me. I don't know what to do. And once he learned the right way, it was off to the races. And he was taking these dents and doing really, really high quality repairs right away. Like day one was the second day of training, but day one of pushing those kind of dents, incredible to watch. From there, we went into tight creases. And again, it was the same thing. Like creases that are deep enough to be scary, creases that are deep enough that they're denting the paint from the impact. Watching Jean teach that and show the step-by-step and just exactly his process of how he goes and works it clean and how he moves the metal and how like using the stinger paddle technique or a stinger knockdown technique, I was able to work that down and clean. And then to watch students and especially the newer guys go after their creases and work so incredibly clean just blew my mind. Even Mac, my son, who assisted all week in the class, he was like, when the guys were there, we had some extra panels set up. We had our demo panel. He's like, Dad, you got to give me one of those creases. I got to try it. And he came in and man, that little shit who was just a couple of months into his PDR journey is fixing a crease that I don't know that I could have fixed it at 18 months or 2 years into my journey. And he stepped up and he got that thing flat and it just needs detailed out just a tiny bit. Like unbelievable to watch these light bulb moments go off. Then we got into playing with the shrinky boxes, working out some deep stretched metal. I don't know that any of the guys in the class had gotten to play with the boxes before. We had I think it's version 2 Power PDR box, and then of course the brand new SB4 from Keith from Black Plague. In fact, I know a couple of the guys at class hopped on the website and ordered them up to add them to their arsenal of tools. Again, really cool to watch how learning how to use new tools, right, just truly levels up what those guys got going on. It was such a fulfilling week. Moved into some body lines, and with body lines, we started introducing some lateral tension. And I get to get back up on my soapbox because so many videos show the lateral tension. I call it the social media pop, right? Put your straps on, put your tab straps on, whatever your tool is, put your 2x4s on, and everybody's pulling and pulling and pulling until pops the dent out. That's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work, at least, right? You should be moving metal in multiple directions. They got to see the right way to use lateral tension, how it really truly assists in moving metal. Get to learn some metal flow. And then from there, we started moving into some big smash work and showing just how crucial being able to do accurate, controlled, large damage glue pulling is. It was very cool to see when you break it down and slow down. And most of my, or I guess a lot of my glue pull trainings are in body shops where we're just trying to go and get to rough in. It was fun here to get to take it to a little higher level and really get nuanced and get down in the weeds. It was more like my advanced glue pull training that I got to do this week instead of beginner large glue pull training. And I'd love nerding out on that stuff. That's where we got to put the JVF Pro handgun into play. Again, little review coming up at the end here on that. And then, like on the repair side of things, we get to move into as we're finishing the week with the guys. We get to move into their own smash repair. So we have a little bit of fun with it. It's sort of like tell a story and, how did this damage happen? And then you damage the door. So we had a shopping cart story, a drunken stupor story, a moose story. Like the guys had a lot of fun creating damage. And then you're not creating the damage necessarily that you're going to fix. We do a blind drawing of the panels that are damaged. And so you may or may not get the damage that you're going to get. So do you hit it hard to challenge somebody? Do you back off a little bit in case you get it? You want to be the hero? Nobody held back, by the way. But it was cool to watch these guys make the damage. And then as we moved into Smash, and not everybody decided to do Smash. A couple of the newer guys were like, hey, I'm not quite ready for this. I don't even know if I want to do that. Let's work on some more technical stuff, which we did, which was part of the beauty of the small class. We're able to tailor the training to exactly you. But the Smash guys, they all got challenged to take their time on it, right? Even going back to Advanced Skills Seminar, man, I can't remember if it was like 16 or 17. The year I'm talking about for you veteran guys is they had the tan metallic Explorer, and I think it was a Chevy Cruze, and they cut the wheel and the bumper creased the back door on the right rear door, if memory serves, the right rear door on the Explorer, put like a double crease in, smashed the body line and everything like that. Bryce is fixing it, right? So that part of the seminar, Bryce does his big moves, gets everything started, and then gets it up to, call it the boring part, right? The part that everybody says they want to see, but when you're watching somebody like just picking out little lows, it's not very exciting to do, but it's what it takes to make that damage right. But anyways, it gets to that point, and then we break, and then we go inside, and I think that Keith and Paul Corden we're doing a sales training. And at that point in my career, I felt like I probably could have given the sales training, or at least 90% of what those guys could do on sales, because I was a student of theirs. I'd already sort of studied that. I'm like, man, you know what? I want to go and watch Bryce work, right? What's like Bryce does these amazing repairs, even back then, amazing repairs, next level, bigger stuff than I would take on. Like, what's the answer? What's his secret sauce? So I went out, and he was working on the side of it was the big white tent at the back of the Carib, maybe. Anyways, and I get back and I'm like, all right, dude, it was me and I think maybe Troy Brewer sat down, and we're like, all right, Bryce, what's the secret sauce? We're going to watch you do this. And he's like, boys, there's no secret sauce. You just got to sit here and push and push and push and push and push and finish. Like, you're just working this out to the highest level possible. And there's not really a secret. Kind of like in the middle of the repair, my repairs and probably your repairs look just like Bryce's repairs. Bryce is just gifted to another level with patience and drive and determination and attention to detail. And he camps out and makes it work, right? Makes the panel do what the panel needs to do, and fixes the lows and fixes the texture. We got to experience that here with the students, right? They all said, one, I would maybe never try to tackle this damage before this. So they wouldn't even give themselves the opportunity, and they would tap out. Two, showing them how to use good, large glue pull repair techniques, right? We're able to take these big smashes from like super scary and maybe not doable to like, there's not really anything on this door I can't fix. Let's get after it, right? By following the right repair path and everything like that. As they're moving through, they all agreed, all the smash guys, they were like, I never give myself enough time to make this stuff right. I never give myself enough time or permission to sit here and try, right? A lot of them were like, man, I would tap out already. I would tap out already. But we left them, the better part of Friday and half of Thursday. So let's call it 10 hours to spend on these doors of real push time with us being there to coach and walk them through and show them what they're doing. They all, like the big giant light bulb was, they all figured it out. And I can remember going back to when I was learning how to do smash before there was Dent Trainer or AAI or Real World PDR, or hell, hardly even, like, I started doing smash before YouTube was even a thing. Maybe you would see some sort of video on Dording.com. Like a Sal Contreras was doing some bigger stuff, or Marty Runick was trying to tell us to use lateral tension and nobody would. We just figured it out over years and years and years of chasing the craft. It was really cool to watch these guys come together collectively as a group outside of their comfort zone and sit down and put the time in. And I know, right, and sort of like giving them a little exit interview, like wrap up at the end of the week, we know that they all were able to push themselves beyond what they thought they were capable of, because they had good instruction. Pat myself on the back, just kidding. But because they had coaching, they had somebody there or people there to help push them. And we gave them the permission to camp and figure it out. And honestly, you're here to learn. What the hell else are you going to do? You're not going to quit. You've got to go after this stuff and get it. And then, of course, the some of my favorite stuff to talk about, the guys who were, now we had a mix of wholesale, in-house techs, business owner, like, again, a great spread across the room or throughout the room. We got to sit down and talk sales and marketing, which is like that excites me as much as anything in business, is like, how do we market it? How do we get people in the door, and how do we sell it? I think it was supposed to go for 2 hours, and we ended up going for 4. And we were all like the small room, the great conversation, the questions. Man, it was just a freaking blast. Like, such a good week. Several of the guys in the class, sort of when we were wrapping up, talked about just how much this class feels like a fast forward to them. Or even like the 23-year-old guy or 23-year guy. He was like, I wish this stuff was here 10 years ago. Imagine where I could be if I would have done this 10 years ago. And I had the same, really the same reactions when PDR College started coming out, when Advanced Skills started coming out, when I signed up and coached with Keith, right? It was a purchase to fast forward my knowledge, my skill set, and my career. I mean, just unbelievable. What an unbelievably humbling week, fulfilling week. It was an ass kicker. Like it took it out of us. Me and John, he crashed at my place, but we would go back home and like eat dinner. And then we were like, oh, we're done. And you just had to be sort of in veg out mode to even get through. Like, we left it all on the table, and the guys picked it all up. The students were all over it. If any of the students are listening to this, drop a comment somewhere. And we're so grateful for you guys. And it really, truly was amazing to watch all of the growth that happened here, right here in the shop, in this room, and right there in that shop. Man, stay hungry, guys. Keep an eye out. We've got a lot of good footage. We'll be sharing some of the stuff that went on there. If this sounds like something that you might be interested in, I've got to update the page, but we will have a waiting list for the next training. Looks like it's going to be in just under a year is when we will do it. But keep an eye out. The level up training, man, just a proven concept that just unbelievable. Loved it. Thank you guys so much for coming and allowing us to drop a little bit of knowledge on you, and you guys for putting in the work to make it happen. So freaking cool. Anyways, man, the class was awesome. Like, I'm pretty stoked. It was a celebratory weekend. It was great. So last week, I think in the podcast, showed you the K Power Junior. I think that's what it's called. Awesome little tool, and the remachined feet for those. One, I like them way better. They fit into things. They even fit into, we did some lateral tension with the Black Plague edge straps, grabbing onto the edge of the panel on both sides, and that adapter. And then there's a tension K-Power adapter. And instead of trying to finagle something, there's new feet, slide right into there and lock in. It just helps expand the entire Kiko system. I love everything in Kiko, or so much of everything in Kiko is a system-based tool set. You're able to come in and put it all together. Hats off, Team Kiko. You guys continue to kill it with innovation and great tools. Speaking of great tools, the other tool was the new Bad Mamby Jamby Pro Glue Gun from Jonathan at JVF Tools, straight out of Belgium. This was not a gift. Bought this 100% with my own dollars, especially for showing off in class. This thing, wow. So I think Jonathan said 5 sticks. You have to cut the sticks up. It's definitely going to be time to switch to pellet glue for me. We got to cut the sticks up. I think we ended up, I thought, comfortably getting 6 sticks of glue in here. If you look at the side, it's got a max fill level. Well, in my infinite wisdom, I was picturing that a little bit higher up here and overfilled it a little bit. was going to open it up and show you, but I actually have it glued shut because I put too much glue in. So when you go, right, when the gun sits this way, you can't lay it down on its sides. You got to make sure that your glue is low enough that it doesn't catch your rings up here. The directions clearly say it. This is not a flaw with a gun. This is just me being a guy and not paying enough attention to the rules. Anyways, this gun, Jonathan told me, he goes, listen, I'm going to warn you. If you start using it, there's no going back. And I was like, all right, Jonathan makes good stuff, but like, how good can it be? Because those Tech 812s or 810s, the like $110 plug-in collision guns from Anson, amazing guns, right? Like they heat up fast, they recover fast, they flow out a ton of glue. I thought I had reached like the mecca of plug-in guns with those, and they're amazing. And you could buy a lot of those for one of these. However, the key when you're getting into large glue pull repair, or you're teaching a class with a bunch of technicians doing large glue pull repair, you need a large amount, not just of glue, but a large amount of melted, ready to go, properly heated glue. This gun, because it doesn't, so your typical gun melts part of the stick, and so like the Eliminate guns, the small trifectas, the Stuckies, like the cordless, call them hail guns, are only going to melt a couple inches of glue. And if you squeeze a couple inches of melted glue out, right, force your stick in, you're going to run out of hot melted glue, and then it needs to warm up and remelt and get that new solid glue to a liquid state to hot enough. The collision guns, right, Kiko, Cam Auto, the cordless from Anson, the plugins from Anson, all have a larger chamber that melt more of a stick of glue. And those are higher wattages, so they recover faster. But still, if you're going to get into big straps, the big JVF feet, even like as we get into more complex repairs, like we're gluing a bunch of tabs on a panel, even just a bunch of tabs can burn up your melted hot glue. This gun, now I think with shipping, was like $750 US. This gun, because it melts, it doesn't just heat a little bit. This cylinder in here looks like, call it like about the diameter of the small energy drink cans, like a small Red Bull can, and not quite as tall, maybe as tall inside, like small Red Bull size. This is a chamber of melted glue. So it will take that 5 or 6 sticks, 5.5 sticks, whatever it is. It will take it and it melts the entire thing. And now, instead of a small amount of glue, you've got 5 or 6 sticks worth of melted glue. And the trigger, I'm not quite sure how it works. I understand how a regular glue gun works, but I haven't taken this apart. It must like pressurize the pot, I suppose, and shoots the glue out. Man, like I couldn't run out of glue. Even running around the room, filling up, 3 or 4 different lateral tension setups at the same time and some big tabs. Like I've never put that much hot glue out at one time in my life. It's a go-to. Like that thing. If you're serious about large damage glue pull and you're getting into these large straps, these large tabs, multiple tabs, I think, right, like this is going to become a must-have. And really, even for wattage, like this is a 500 watt plus or minus gun. So the plug-in Ansons are 250. So 2 of those equals the same power as this one gun. And the 2 of those do not equal anywhere near this amount of glue. Now, I understand it's an investment, but if you are getting serious about big glue pull, this is where it's at. I can't wait to continue doing more and more with this to put it through the paces and see how it lasts. And Jonathan, I tip my hat to you, my friend. Not that I expected anything less. Killer, absolutely killer product you come up with here. We're dealing with hot glue. It's freaking hot, really hot. I recommend, as we're getting into this bigger, scarier amounts of glue on bigger tabs, over the last year or so, I've started wearing gloves. And I was never a glove guy before that. But when I'm getting into this, get after it. I've been liking they're like a cotton, heavy duty. They call them barbecue gloves. You go on Amazon, you get a 24 pack for, $15 or something. And then I'm putting a nitrile glove or a latex glove over top of that to keep the cotton from getting all nasty. On here, right? And it's a commercial. This is maybe not even commercial, probably more like industrial gun. This nose nozzle is hot. Don't touch it without a glove. The heating chamber, the whole tube on the back of the gun, when this thing is plugged in, is hot. You will burn yourself. Wear gloves around this thing. Take some extra precaution. Certainly, you can burn yourself on any hot glue, but like we're talking about some gnarlier temperatures, some higher heavy duty stuff. On the bottom, this little magnet is super helpful. Running on a toolbox, holds it up, keeps it steady. If you're going to go on something else, it's got the regular old kickstand on the bottom that will kick out of your way. I like the magnet because sometimes when you're trying to come in with that kickstand, it wants to get in your way and you got to fold it out. With the magnet, if you're on a magnetic surface, it actually holds the gun up and it doesn't even touch the kickstand. It's there. And so you can check this out at jvftools.com. Man, definitely a Gluru approved product on this. So, wow. All right, guys. That's a wrap. This week is a wrap. I'm tired. Keep an eye out for this week's episode coming up. Dylan's farewell show. Hopefully we can put that all together. If you have any questions or comments for Dylan, comment them in here, DM us, and we will give some shout outs to you and to her when we record. I think we're going to try to record on Thursday this week. So that'll be I think it's the second or third. Don't remember. The third. So we're looking at recording on the third. So get your comments or questions for Dylan in before the third, and we will be sure to give you a shout out on the show. She still watches all the social and everything. She's still employed here. So she will take notes. Dylan, take notes. These guys these people are DMing you with Dylan content. It's for the podcast. Take notes. I'll let you do an outline, maybe even a script for this one, but that's the last time you get to make me do a script, and then you're out. Guys, go follow us on social at Auto Appearance Institute across the board. You can check out any of our virtual trainings at autoappearanceinstitute.com on the website. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Glad I still have a voice. I hope I wasn't too rambly for you this week, but I was just pretty stoked about how it all went. So until next time, number 30 is coming up. We'll see you on the show.